on this blizzardy day in Colorado.
Hopefully it's not still blizzarding by the time you see this.
That is fair. We got like a foot and a half of snow right now.
Mm-hmm.
Was trudged, sludged through the snow to get here so we can record.
I put it in X mode in first gear.
In success.
It was fun. Yeah.
So, yeah, we're here. We're excited to have you guys. Thank you again. We're season 2, episode 2. Season 2, sipisode 2.
That's right.
Excuse me. We've got an incredible interview with Cohesion Brewing.
Yes.
Focused on Women's History Month and their special beer release supporting women in beer. We also are going to highlight on some fun facts. And we're going to hit up history. We're going to hit up the brew news around some really cool women's stories going around. And a bit
of diversity because that's what we do. And
that's what we do.
Some super awesome fun facts.
Yeah, and then a really good Brews and Bites where you get to watch us go into a food coma before your eyes. You're welcome.
We've all been there.
We just go, We start slouching more and we're like, this is delicious.
Yeah. But we're really excited. So
yeah, so
it's going to be fun. Thanks for joining us. We're glad you decided to join us again this week.
Yeah.
And we hope we love it. We hope you love it. We already love it. Yeah. Hold on to your koozies. It's going to be a good one.
Maybe koozies to keep your beer warm today.
Oh.
Snow joke.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But as always, we're going to start with this week's educational beer education.
Right. Beer experience.
The Ale Academy.
Yes. Oh my God. So much fun. I'm just literally laughing about it, thinking about it
so
right
silly.
Now.
I feel like the Ale Academies have been a great time to really introduce you to our brains. And so we decided in our brains, this is how, if we were beers debating Czech style Pilsners versus lagers.
That's right. It's Pilsners versus lagers.
It's a debate of the ages.
This is one bar fight you have never seen, and you're not going to want to miss it. That's for sure.
Cheers.
Enjoy. This is the Ale Academy.
The debate of Czech beer. Pilsner versus a lager. You've never seen a bar fight quite like this one. Oh, you again, Pilsner.
Hello, lager. We meet again.
I'm surprised we're even able to meet again with as slow as you brew. We all know that you can't be a Pilsner without also being a lager. I, on the other hand, never have to be a Pilsner.
This again? How many times have we been through this? I am the superior beer. Let it go already.
No way. What about color? I can range from the palest straw to the darkest Schwartz beer. You, on the other hand, you're just pale and golden. You're just one color. I am a full rainbow.
The rainbow of beers? That's because you'll partner with any old malt off the street. You're like the malt town bicycle that everybody's ridden. And I have bitterness. You can never match my bitterness. People take a whiff of me and they're intoxicated. You could only dream of being this bitter, playing it all smooth and balanced.
Yeah, well, lame. Like, what about ABV? Like, you can't even get over 5.5%. You're like a stuffed animal at a carnival game. You're just like a big old gimmick. Like, God, and you also, you take so long to brew. I was brewed for royalty back in Brew Bar. You're just, patience and technique. You're like an icon of the Czech people. Do I need to remind you that royalty rules the people? I might go as far as saying, you're just a peasant's drink.
Peasant's brew? I am royalty, brewed with noble hops the sass. I am floral, spicy, crisp. There's nothing peasant about that. Your most dominant flavor is yeast. No offense, yeast.
Hey, can we get these open?
Ah, yeah.
Ah, Pilsner! When will this madness stop? We've been debating this since 1842. You know I'm way older than you.
Why, I am a lager that is also a Pilsner. We are brewed of the same, we're practically cousins. Oh my God.
What the heck?
Every time I put these two next to each other, they're always exploding. I'm gonna have to talk to the distributor about that. I'll get
This is so silly. I'm sorry about all of your lucks, and also very happy for it because we have just far too much fun with these, and we're really excited to have adjusted the segments the way we have.
I also feel like it paints a really good picture of what you don't always get to see behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's that underlying nuance of kind of like what you got to go through on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
In the most fun way possible, in the least stressful way possible. What a good time.
What was your favorite part?
Well, getting to be a Pilsner, of course. I am a noble hop.
Yeah, I would say that I think this one, I really loved the Ale Academy last week as well, but this one I think like showcased our humor even more, and I think they're just going to keep kind of growing and getting better and better, and being able to tell kind of a little bit more of a complex visual story. Like that's been really fun for me.
Yeah, from like that simple elementary level, right? Trying to make it as basic as possible and humorous, right? Because we're pretty funny.
We think so, at least.
Yeah, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and as it is every other week, the segment for the Ale Academy is brought to you by the mug month. I can't say it.
It's brought to you
Monthly muggy beery bobby to boop bop.
boop 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 boop. Yeah, this week's Ale Academy, as per usual, is brought to you by the Microbrewed Beer of the Month Club. They drink a lot of bad beers, so you don't have to. It's super awesome. We'll have a reveal coming up too in the next couple days that you can check out. Yeah, for the month of March. Yep. So I'm excited to see what that one looks like. Maybe we get some more local favorites in there, but check them out. You saw the links in the description. You know how to find us. You're here, you're watching. We're so grateful that you are. You can find the link. We hope you like it.
Check it out. And with that, we're just gonna cruise on in. We're rolling. I'm feeling it. I'm kind of feeling it. I'm still. I mean, you'll hear it in our brews and bites. Still recovering from a cold, better than I was during the brew and bites, but I still have a foggy brain.
Yeah.
But we're gonna jump into our brew news.
Yeah.
And
this brew news. Anything here?
No, I think so. I think our brew news right now is going to be really focused on women and a really fun local story. So let's hit up with how awesome women in the craft beer space is and hear a pretty unique a beer drinking story that you may not have heard before.
All right. We'll start with number one. We wanted to introduce you to Orville in Belgium. Orville's Anne-Françoise Pijpert. Yep. She is the first female Trappist brewer. This is not a new story, but one that we definitely want to draw attention to on Women's History Month.
And Orville's is the brewery.
Orville's is the brewery, yes. Yep. Well, it's a monastery, Orville's Monastery. Yep. So, so she is the world's first female Trappist brewer, and maybe you're like, what the hell is a Trappist beer? Or so what? What's the big deal, right? But we'll take you back, give you a little context. So Trappist beers, they're a special category of beers brewed by the Trappist monasteries, like Orville. There are only a few of these monasteries around the world, primarily in Belgium, that are allowed to use the authentic Trappist product label. Yeah. The beers are known for their high quality, traditional brewing methods, and the variety of styles that come in. Yep. They range from pale ales to dark stouts. So they really don't leave much out there, but the production of Trappist beers is directly overseen by the monks themselves, if you see what I'm getting at here.
Why there wasn't a lot of women in it.
Yeah. None. Yeah, exactly.
By not a lot, zero.
Exactly. But proceeds do go towards supporting the monastery and its charitable activities. Trappist beers are highly regarded in the community for their depth of flavor and craftsmanship. So, big deal. You're picking up on it. You're seeing it. So Anne-Françoise is a woman, and traditionally monks are men. We said that. So let alone women are not brewing beer, or the highly regarded beer for that matter, right? Like these are a big deal, as they should be. And but what's super cool is that it highlights that the world is opening its doors in its mind year by year to once gender specific and restricted roles into a world where segregation is a less common word or term that we use. I mean, that's really the goal here. We still have a ways to go, but
this is what 2013.
2013. Yeah, I was.
So that was the first woman into that. It was like that long.
2013, right? This is 11 years ago. Now, I didn't do an extensive amount of research beyond that to see how many women have followed in their path, but I think just look at the States and how many more women are getting back into the brewing scene, so to speak. I think we can say that, getting back into it and really just the best word I could come up with is like the less segregated, right? Like they don't have these gender specific roles, but the industry is being more open, right? Yeah, open minded, open door. I mean, why not?
The whole shebang.
Yeah, I do want to give a little bit of a context because Orville has a neat little bit of history around it.
This was a really cool story. I'm glad you threw this in here.
Yeah. Sam, I had a lot of fun. Looking up research is obviously like my favorite part. Yep. So I have a good time with that. So Orville came about, there is a legend of this countess who was walking along the road of where Orville lies in the Belgian area. And she was recently widowed and mourning the loss of her husband. And she stopped along this road to cry. And while she was crying, she happened to lean over this well. And when she leaned over the well, a single tear fell into the well. And after some amount of time,
the actor tear.
Yeah.
That's just the one.
Come to me if you need one of the. I'm just kidding. Okay. Damn it. Sorry. Cut that. Anyway. So after a certain amount of time, this fish came up out of the well, and it was a trout, and it was a trout carrying a golden ring. So to her, to the countess, she was convinced that this was an act of God, right? Makes sense. And that the land was a valley of gold. Yeah.
Super cool.
I mean, I can put those two together. This fish appears out of nowhere. Yeah. There's a gold band that the fish is carrying. It actually made me think of Big Fish.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, it reminded me of
I wonder where that came from. But it's probably a legend you see here and there and near and far. And true
as
and
many old stories are. They're just a repeat of the other.
Yeah, but
that's where the abbey got built.
Yes,
which is like,
Thank
it's
you.
surprising that it's a women built abbey. Still run by a bunch of men monks. But at least they were more innovative, got women back in when they could, I guess. I don't know. It's just it's a weird cycle that everything went through, but it definitely made me think
probably where the money came from, I suppose.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. So the abbey was built there, and the monks went on to do their thing, brewed these Trappist beers, and then today we get Anne Francois, who is super awesome, a former biochemist, similar to Amanda, the director of quality control at Four Noses, who we highlighted a couple weeks ago on sipisode 1 of season 2. But she's been the brewer at Orville since 2013. She has a dedication to craft and a love for beer that is totally unmatched. It's really like that magical place of the coming full circle and putting the beer back into the hands of a woman.
And on top of it,
her claim to fame. Is this what you're talking about? Oh
yes.
My
God. We double fact checked this because we're like, that can't be true.
Yeah. The very last word. So not only first female Trappist brewer, but her claim to fame is installing a new fermentation hall and a bottling line that incredibly cranks through 40,000 bottles an hour.
For an hour. We're a day, a year, an hour. I don't even know how they have that much beer. Wow. They're probably putting other people's beer. That's probably the only reason they need that much. Yeah.
Because they're pretty specific about who gets the beer, right? Who they distribute.
I was like, there's 40,000 cranking out that amount of beer. Crazy.
Anyway, I didn't get that far into it. If somebody else knows the rest of that story, please put it in the comments so I don't have to go find it, or maybe I forgot. But shout out to Anne Francois during Women's History Month. And
kind of we'll get into story number 2. It's a bit of a common monk story, we'll call it.
I like it.
The Colorado beer guy, whose real name is Paul Mahill. I'm saying that right. I hope it looks like Mahil, whatever.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. Is in a third year of following a beer-only fast, which is a tradition by the Pauliner monks from the 1600s during like the Lent season.
Yeah.
So he's going, I think it was 46 days where he's only drinking beer. And again, he's done this 3 times. Yeah. But this year where he's doing a little bit different is he's not doing the water and the vitamins. He's strictly, I mean, I would assume he's also probably doing water
and vitamins.
Oh, he's still doing water.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But this year he's doing, it was all the beers. Yeah. He would do an array of beers all the other years. Where this year he is strictly only doing Guinness.
Yeah.
For where you said 46 days.
Yeah.
So it's a 46 day challenge, only beer. As of when we read this, he was down 20 plus pounds.
Yeah.
He says he's been really enjoying it. He feels really clear, been really happy with it.
Physically, mentally, and spiritually. Imagine that.
Yeah, and is basically, that's coming out to about 5.5 to 6.5 pints a day, which is 250 to 300 pints of Guinness over the course of this 46 days. And like, I love me some Guinness. And like, I don't know if I could do that many days of it. Like, I think I would get bored with it. Like
maybe a week. I would be like, maybe I could do a week. I feel like
it's kind of intriguing. I do really like Guinness. My problem is I like Guinness on draft significantly more than I like it.
Well, and if you know,
in bottles.
He's out and about all the time.
Yeah, he's crushing it. I mean,
I'm drinking a Guinness.
And his backstory is he's hit every single brewery in Colorado. He's super active on Instagram and Facebook.
He used to own a brewery in the UK. He's a former brewery owner.
Yeah, and I mean, he's happy to answer questions. Super friendly guy.
Yep.
He's got a ton of followers. So if you ever want to hit him up, you can go check out I think it's a private Facebook page following his fast specifically that you can go check out.
I don't think is it his? I thought he was just part of that private group.
Oh, it could be. I don't know.
We'll have all the details for you in the description.
If there's a link, you can check out. Otherwise,
helpful.
He talks about it. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you can check it out because I think he's like pushed people to his website maybe where you can kind of follow his whole fast.
Hey, he even has like some celebrity endorsements going on.
And you said, so you know the name of the guy.
Reverend Chris out of St. Saviour's, Wendell Park, London.
And he's doing the same thing, the same Guinness 46 day challenge. So super interesting. Mm-hmm. I am like slightly intrigued, but I'm also the person that can't eat like the same food 3 days in a row. So like I kind of have my doubts of being able to do this. And I also really like food. That's like a highlight of my day is like breakfast and dinner. It's like, ooh, what are we going to have? Where am I going to be creative? So I think I would struggle. I don't know. But it's like intriguing. I think maybe for a week. It would be a fun week challenge.
Can you have gum? I feel like if I had gum, I might be okay.
That would help.
Because I like to chew. I also grind my teeth at night.
So maybe you'll hear from us as of next year and maybe we'll give it a shot. But
yeah, maybe. Ooh, yeah, maybe. Ooh, there's something. Those are some big shoes to fill.
You did dry January. Screw that. We're doing beer only March.
What if you did again?
Marchuary.
We'll do like dry and wet January again, and then like I don't know when the Lent season starts.
I should, but I don't.
Okay, but maybe. Maybe. Needless to say. He's doing a super cool thing.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's fun seeing his post. It's fun hearing him talk about it. At some point, I think we maybe have stumbled into him and said hi before, but I know I've seen him around town. But yeah, good luck. Keep it rocking. I don't think he's struggling with it. Doesn't seem like seems like he's having a grand old time. Maybe the lack of variety. I think I would struggle with that too.
That's what I was saying. Like, I'm definitely a variety person. I like variety, but then I'll also at the same time bitch about being paralyzed by options.
Yeah, it's tough balance.
But maybe not in that case. Maybe I would plan it enough in advance. I'd be like, okay, this week I get lagers on Mondays and Tuesdays. But Wednesdays and Thursdays. Fridays I bulk up on Guinness. And then Saturday, Sunday, and then I'm all about like the barrel aged and the sour.
I also feel like it shows a lot of our mental. It's not like we're like, oh, that just sounds so hard. We're like, God, I think we'd get bored.
Yeah.
Like our biggest hurdle right now is mentally we're like, but what if we get bored?
Well, because I think a lot of the variety comes within the food pairing, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
just
why
the things we love. But it's like a funny thing that's like our big struggle mentally is like, oh God, do I want to?
People are like, you're drinking every day for 40 days.
Like, oh, I have to give up breakfast burritos. No.
Actually,
no.
I've had a
make
breakfast
me-
burrito in a long time.
No. I had one yesterday morning.
They had some at the Oasis on Sunday, and I can't believe I didn't get one.
Wow, quitter. Anyways,
All
that's
right.
it. Good luck.
Shout
Continue
out,
your
pals.
house. Lots of fun. We'll see you someday.
you. We support you. Maybe we'll join you next year. I wonder how many ladies are doing it. That would be interesting.
I mean, people in general can't be that many.
Well, yeah.
But
Sorry. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3 of our brew news. We have to highlight this one. Super interesting. So women in China are tapping into the craft beer revolution. Not my title. You can see that at sixtone.com. It's their article. Links in the description below. But so if you don't know, China is a $1 billion craft beer market. $1 billion. That's 9 zeros. And more now than ever, women are stepping into brewing, management, and bar operational roles. Super cool to see, right? Like, again, just kind of taking back what we were already doing, right?
Yeah.
For whatever reason we got out of it. All the reasons we've listed before.
Witches is why we got out of it.
So many things.
Witchery.
Anyway, it's a great article about a woman named Kang Jinga. I think I'm saying that close-ish. So she got into the craft beer industry after being retired for 12 years already.
In a different space.
In a totally different space. She goes out, she has a drink of beer, and she's like, craft beer. I love it. Exactly like that. Sorry, Kang. Or maybe not. Maybe you really like that. She really wanted to get into it after that, and she loved it. Also had a degree in engineering, I believe. So the craft beer market in China is over $1 billion, and it's expected to capture 17% or more of the beer market by this time next year. So I think they're going from like 5% up to 17%.
Yeah, which I mean, I feel like in the US, like our big leap was from like the 3-4%, which is where it plateaued for a long time, and I think it got up to 8, maybe 9%. And I could be wrong, but I remember that's like the last numbers I remember hearing.
That sounds about right.
And then it kind of like then some big companies, we won't say names, put out a guerrilla marketing warfare against craft beer companies as they were buying them. But
yes.
it like basically like really flipped the numbers on stuff. So,
Yeah.
but like that's a huge increase. But we
huge
talked before, wasn't it with Campbell?
Mm-hmm.
That like they couldn't do different like breweries or tap houses and stuff. So if the laws have changed, it makes sense that like this huge increase can adjust. Maybe it was Vietnam.
That was Thailand.
So Thailand.
Which is
She's
China,
everywhere.
basically.
She's everywhere. It's hard to know where she is. But there was something there that like you couldn't have a brewery.
Yeah. Yep. No. And that's season 1. I think that's episode 2 as well, 2 or 3. But anyway, super interesting. So it's like the total reverse of what's happening here in the States, where a lot of the younger Americans are on the non-alcoholic train, right? You get up to the 30, they're like, man, I don't really want to drink, you know? But above that, we're like, yeah, well, we have a beverage, or we do all beer diets. You know what I mean?
I come with beer.
And dog. And anyway, but over there, so this 17% increase they attribute to a lot of young Chinese and women are really like the primary market right now. Well, there's, they're having a gender shift, right? Like there's more women that want to be involved in the space and drinking. Anyway, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So that's really where that big shift comes from. But I do want to shout a little bit more to Kang. So Kang, she retires from her engineer position. She has beer and she's like, I want to get into it. And so she starts Monkey King. And she launched, thank you. Which is a saison with oolong tea.
Yum! I love a tea beer.
I'm thinking like, I think that would be really good. I would like to try. Great. She's also really into pepper flavor, so she puts pepper flavor in her lagers, which is pretty popular over there as well.
Brewers, take notes.
She started Women's Society, which is like the States' equivalent to the Pink Boots Society. which helps empower women who want to get into these brewing management and bigger tap room roles. She likes challenging the stereotypes. She thinks she really focuses on diversity. Did I say it wrong?
No, I just realized I hadn't been smiling.
Oh. Put your violence, put your smiling face on.
I still have groggy brain, so I was just like,
that's okay.
Like mouth breathing.
A lot of ginger ingredients too. That's not surprising, but
would be interesting to
I think it's a really great story. I hope we can get her attention. Would love to have a conversation with her and or Anne Francois.
I want to like make a pack, I guess, for us to do bigger travel to other areas. So, I feel like you're trying to the saisons like are going to taste very different than the saisons here. But like we've gone like to like old traditional, and of course they taste very different. But like I feel like it'd be, I don't know. I want to like kick that in higher gear and make that a bit more of a priority of
let's do it.
Checking out some other areas. Just check out some other countries and how they do different things.
Right, because as the craft beer industry goes, it's very much about sourcing local ingredients.
Yeah. So it's going to be just totally different water,
all about
different wild yeast. Like
I can't wait to get into the top 10 because you said that.
It'd be cool. Like I don't know. Like it's that like really hit me of just like the ingredients she's using makes so much sense for the area.
There's a chance.
But I'm like, I feel like the ginger probably just tastes better there. Mm-hmm. Like they know how to. They probably just know how to use it better than we do. We just get a freaking pile of it next to our sushi, and that's all like I ever get ginger for.
Have you never purchased ginger root from the grocery store?
I have, but like, how many like American foods in general have ginger in it? Like very few.
No,
so, like,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so I can just
also
feel like
the soil is different, the air is different, etc.
Yeah, like I bet the ginger tastes different. They know how to like finesse the flavors better, right? Like you just go to anywhere that specializes in a type of food, they're just better at it.
I just feel like every day is growing up.
Oh.
All right. Excited to extend upon that one further.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today on this week's segment of Brew News.
Yeah, after that great brew news, Liz is going to look up.
No, don't tell. Don't tell.
Liz is looking up stuff.
I'm looking at porn.
The great brew news, we have to look up some porn while we send you off to go check out our main feature.
United. It's United.
Which we did an incredible interview with an outstanding brewery named Cohesion Brewing, which is local here. And our interviews with Lisa, which she's one of the owners, her and her husband own it.
Lisa and Eric.
Yep.
Larkin.
And they specialize in Czech style beers.
Yes.
There we go, where the theme came from for this whole episode.
So much fun.
They have,
cool place.
Yeah, super cool place. They do all side handles, foam, like you order your beer based on the foam you want.
Foam is beautiful.
Foam is beautiful. They have like a limited number of beers, and even they were like, oh, you have people that like know Czech style beers, and they're like, why do you have 6 beers on? That's insane. You don't need that amount. And they're like, most places like around here,
one.
Yeah. Well, no, most places around here have like 12 to 20. It's like 6 is so small, and like they're like, you don't need that many. Have 1 or 2, and like you cover all of the bases here. And it's an incredible brewery. They were incredible beer, great quality. Follow through with a lot of tradition. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're just trying to bring that wheel to life here in Denver.
Yeah.
And it's such a great experience. Would 100% recommend if you're looking for a unique brewery. They'd be one of the top ones I would recommend going to.
Absolutely. Check them out. Lisa is fantastic. You're going to see here in the interview. So we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
We learned so much.
So much.
All right. Enjoy. Can you then share your inception story of Cohesion with us?
At first, my husband's been brewing for 10 years. He always told me when we first met that he never wanted to start his own brewery. And I was like, great, like, me neither. We actually went to Prague on our honeymoon.
Awesome.
And that was the first time we ever went. His parents actually were the ones that told us to go there. They were like, you'll love it, everything about it. So we got there and we just, I think, saw a beer scene that just wasn't really done justice here. Like just everything between the service, the beer itself, just this like culture around like drinking beer is just such a part of their lives. I think was just so cool. And we were like, no one is really seeing like the full picture when they release a Czech beer here. Like, so that's where the idea started. It's like,
I love that.
you know, there wasn't really anyone in Denver focusing obviously on that. There's a few people in the country maybe that are focusing on it, but we definitely wanted to kind of dive all the way in. We knew if we were going to do it, it was going to be pouring the right, you know, the beer in the right way. It was going to be the service methods. We were going to do basically all of the production methods the way they do it. So yeah, I think like in terms of what makes Czech beer special, I mean, there's obviously elements on the production side that are very different, but we stick to a lot of that here, you know, between just the water profiles, decoction mashing, open fermentation, horizontal lagering. I think too, like the special part, and obviously that's what people see when they come here, is definitely the service. Like it doesn't look anything like, you know, what we normally get here between like the head and the foam on the beers, the Lucre towers. I think it's just the whole experience that I think got us really excited about getting us into it.
Sure. Well, it looks really good.
Thank you.
Thank you for going along with the idea, despite him not wanting to.
I know. Now we're here. It's like, hey, you find a good idea, you got to roll with it.
Right. Talk to us about this location.
Yes.
It's pretty unique. Why?
Yes.
How did you snag it?
Totally.
Well done.
Yeah, we actually like right from the get-go had a very specific target, I think, for the location. We really were just looking in like the Cole Clayton neighborhoods, like Park Hill neighborhoods. I think we had a desire to like be in a more neighborhood setting. And if you go kind of past this building, I mean, for miles, it is just like neighborhood. So we get so many people that come here, walk over, bike over. So we kind of had like our eyes set in this general vicinity. This was actually an old World War II Army warehouse depot, and it has been around obviously for forever. A couple owners, you know, turned it over, but this company came in and they rebranded it as York Street Yards, and they want to make it into like a mixed use space. Obviously still some vacancies to be filled, but I think we're excited, I think, just about like the potential it has. Like you could easily like come here for a day and get coffee and breakfast somewhere, like go to a brewery, you know, go get your hair done. So I think like we were excited just about the potential that this full space had.
Absolutely. Any issues with integrating any of the Czech brewing techniques as far as location or even with the Denver beer scene?
I think it was interesting because at first we thought we would get some pushback, right?
Sure,
like we
thought,
you know, people were going to be like, oh, what is this beer with like, you know, so much foam on the top. So like we were kind of ready and prepped our bartenders pretty well too, right from the get-go of like, hey, you're gonna get pushback. Like people are gonna be confused. Like you're gonna have to explain what we're doing, why we're doing this. But honestly, I think the reception and was honestly better than we imagined. Like I think people were just excited about something new, and like we're just pumped to learn about this culture and like, hey, this is like how they do things over there. Like great, like let's try it. So I think more than anything, people just were super curious about what we were doing, and just given the fact that like Denver's beer scene is already so like rich and knowledgeable though, right? Like we're lucky that we have consumers that are like already entering at kind of like a baseline knowledge of like what beer is, because we have so much great beer here. So I think, I don't know if this honestly could have worked in another city. So it just helps that we have just such like a rich beer culture here too.
And a lot of people who travel, right? I mean, that goes hand in hand, right? It's not just happening here.
Totally. And it's interesting too, because we actually, like, Denver and Boulder has a decent Czech population, which is super fun. So we, every Sunday now have this group of Czechs. It could be 3 of them, it could be 20 of them that come in every single Sunday.
Cool.
They sit at a table and they, you know, come here, drink the beer. They normally only have one beer that they like, because that is also very common. Even having 6 beers on here, they're like, why so many choices? Like we don't need this. So it's just been fun to like integrate with them and that too.
Do they have, what's their go-to?
They love a good 12 degree. So we do have it on our Cohesion 12. That's kind of one of our core all the time beers. It's definitely like a very commonly drank style, like over in Prague too.
With a focus on the classics then, that being said, and how do you then ensure authenticity while incorporating local ingredients?
Yeah, I mean, that was like a big thing for us. It's like, if we're doing this here, it's like, how can we make it as authentic as possible? Like,
Yeah.
we don't want to feel like we're, you know, recreating something and not doing it justice. So I think for us, we use all Saaz hops, so we do stick to kind of the traditional ingredients from a hop standpoint in terms of what they use in their beer. But local ingredients too was like very common in like the Czech brewing history. Like, they use the malt that was like right in their own backyard.
Sure.
So we actually worked with a local maltster. So we use all Colorado local malt from Troubadour Maltings up in Fort Collins.
That's it, yeah.
They're amazing, and we actually worked with them to develop a custom base malt. So it helps. It's kind of an under-modified malt. So when we do decoction mashing, it works a little bit better for us. So they've been such a great partner because they can kind of customize it, and like our dark beers, they roast it to literally like the second that we want it to be at, which is super fun. So like working with someone who is local, like it just gives us the opportunity to make it what we need to make it for the beers to turn out the way that they do.
How do you balance then any sort of desire to innovate with the tradition?
Our like core principles in terms of production methods, we keep to for every beer that we make. We will always have kind of 6 beers on tap. 3 are normally like our core beers, so it's 12, 10 degree, and Tamave, which 2 aren't up there right now, but and then 3 will be rotators. So like with those rotators, we get the opportunity to like do a seasonal beer. So like in the fall, we have our Polo Tamave, which basically is like half dark. We do like winter lager, so a like very dark roasty lager.
I did get to have some. That was incredible.
Yeah, so I mean, I think for us too, like collabs are a really fun way to be able to do something a little bit outside of the box. I think it's fun to be able to take like what we do really well, what someone else does really well, and kind of try to mash those two together, and it always ends up being, you know, something different and maybe something we would never have brewed just on our own, but because we were doing it with someone else, it allows us to kind of step outside of our box a little bit.
Let's get into Mulata then.
Yes.
I mean, that's a huge thing. We're super excited for that. So this is your 3rd annual release. On International Women's Day, which was yesterday, but that's
Happy
okay.
International Women's Day.
Amen to that. What a great support. You know, as I was perusing social media and everything, I was like, oh my gosh, like it feels so much bigger this year than it has been, and maybe it's just because I'm paying more attention, but I don't know. It feels.
I mean, for us, I think
good.
like, yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, we have had so much fun with it, and I think we love to celebrate like International Women's Day. So every year for Mulata, we do a women's brew day. So even before the beer release, we have invite like other women from the industry to come into the space to help brew the beer, which is always just so fun. And I think it's a good opportunity to kind of get that group together, you know, even for like our own staff being able to invite, you know, others over to come brew the beer. So that day always is fun. And then obviously getting to release it on International Women's Day is just, you know, such a fun time. And I think this year we introduced kind of a new element to this, which is our scholarship with MSU Denver, which is so fun. They've been such amazing partners. So this year, proceeds from Mulata will go towards the scholarship that we've kind of committed to over the next couple of years to fund their brewing ops program. So it'll be specifically for their School of Hospitality brewing ops program. And yeah, it's open to anyone, but obviously like our goal with that is to just kind of remove any financial barriers if we can to kind of get more like women and non-binary individuals into the space.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's so cool. So really the creation of the Mulata Brew. Talk a little bit more about that and reflecting on your values.
It's always been about like the community we surround ourselves with. You know, the majority actually of our staff is female, which is awesome. But I think for us, it's just, we wanted an opportunity to kind of rope in the community that is around us, that honestly supports us so much as well. Like we've gotten such great reception just from the industry as a whole. So we really just wanted to kind of have a day where people can kind of come in and share in that, and also just share what we do. Like I think we place a big importance too on just like continuous learning and just like giving an opportunity for other brewers to be able to, you know, see the process we have and share ideas and thoughts about kind of how we do things versus how they do things. So, like, think of any other industry, right? Like, you work in any other industry, it's like, no, we don't share our trade secrets.
No.
Like, no, we're not gonna like hang out with, you know, another company and just like spend the day working with them. Like, that's always what's blown my mind is like before, you know, really even coming into this industry, it's just like the amount of collaboration and just like willingness to help. I think everyone just wants this industry to do well.
Yeah.
And like they're willing to kind of, you know, help someone else out because like, you know, rising tide rises all boats.
Mulata.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the name.
Yes. Yeah. So we stick to pretty traditional Czech beer naming conventions, which honestly is great because we don't have to name beers all that often. But when we don't, I think we still like to have a tie back to the Czech Republic. So Mulata is actually named after a woman named Mulata. She was just a politician during World War II that actually fought for women's rights and just democratic principles just during the communist era. So honestly, like such an amazing backstory. There's actually a whole movie done about her called Mulata. So we named the beer after her, I think just to kind of, you know, everything we're trying to do here are some of the same things she was still fighting for back in that era too. So I think it's just a little nod to, you know, Czech Republic's history, but also, you know, obviously just, the fight to, you know, keep women's rights kind of top of mind.
Absolutely. Crazy how we fell out of favor, but we're on our way back. Talk us through the brewing process from Mulata, if you can, and how it gets into Czech brewing methods.
We stuck to pretty traditional, our traditional Czech brewing method. So, you know, we try to match our water profile to be a little bit closer to Pilsen. We did a decoction mash for this beer as well. We actually did an open fermentation, which we can go in there and check that out. We have another beer in there right now, obviously not Mulata, but another very important step in the Czech brewing process. What was fun about this beer, which again, just like these types of beers allow us to kind of step outside of our normal methods, but we actually dry hopped this beer Mulata with Saz and Strata, which Strata isn't a hop that we use all the time, and we don't really dry hop any of our beers, so it's kind of just a fun twist onto it to kind of, and we've actually done a dry hopping with every single one of the Mulata beers we've released, so it's kind of been a tradition now, just that's kind of the approach we take with that beer.
I would really like to try it before we go.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Tell us a little bit about the horizontal lagering tanks. I feel like we have to touch upon that.
Yeah, I mean, outside the fact that they just look beautiful, I mean, it's just been kind of in the history of, you know, lager brewing as a whole. Like, they obviously didn't used to have metal tanks. They were, you know, putting them into barrels that laid on their side. So when they made, you know, tanks, they made them, you know, look very similar to that. You know, what they were used to, you know, seeing. So, you know, there's, you know, benefits now they've discovered, like, for the beer to actually lager it that way. But honestly, it's just another piece and way we can kind of stick to just that tradition that they have, you know, over in Czech, for sure.
Yeah, and nod to it for sure.
Yeah.
I love that. Beyond the scholarship, the portion of the proceeds donating to the scholarship fund, what else are you doing beyond that?
Again, like back to just being in this community, in this neighborhood specifically, I think we try to find, you know, charities, foundations that are like hyper local. So I think we always have a goal of kind of like think globally, act locally. So there's a few really amazing charities that kind of are in this space. There's actually like Denver Food Rescue. It actually operates out of this building as well. They actually store their bikes like right across in that storage container right across the parking lot. So we've worked with them on a few things. Grow House is another just food inequity type program that we've worked with in the past that's awesome. I think for us it's just like trying to find those that are like right nearby and just kind of in the heart of where we operate, just to make an impact just like with the people that are right around us. Abby, Big Raven Bread, she actually operates a bakery out of her house in the neighborhood, and she pops up every Thursday here. So it's
please.
Yeah, so it's stuff like that. It's just like, how can we like make this neighborhood just, I mean, it's already awesome, but it's how can we just be a part of that and just highlight that even more?
Sure. This industry is obviously doing really well at highlighting diversity and inclusion. How are you going about creating that welcoming environment? You seem to be on top of it, but give me a little more, if you will.
I mean, it's hard, right? I mean, we try our best for sure. I think it's like comes from day one, just trying to like make it something that's top of mind in your like culture, and everything from hiring to like what you're putting into practice in the space. I mean, we put our bartenders through trainings through Blue Bench. They're a company that specifically likes to create like a safe, welcoming environment. So they go through like, hey, how do you step in if you see a customer who's being harassed by someone else? So it's the little things like that. I think it's just like, how do you make that super intentional? And I think also just like trying to make sure our staff like is representative of the people that we're serving, right? Like, I think if someone's able to kind of walk into a space and see someone that they can relate to and resonate with, like they're immediately going to feel just more welcome, more safe in a space. So I think, those are just a couple little things, but it's definitely something, I think we keep always trying to do better at and do more of, but I think it's something that's really important to us for sure. And I think we've, seen so many other amazing breweries that do this so well that it's like we've learned a lot along the way about what we would want it to look like if it was our own. So
and here it is.
Here it is.
Here we go. Going back to the Mulata release, your commitment to the community. Do you have a specific memorable moment over the last 3 years that has stuck out for you?
No, I mean, I think like specifically with Mulata, like the brew days are always just like so fun. Like I think honestly it's just about like the people that come out for it and people that come out for the release. And again, it's just like having them all here, like supporting, what we're doing and also supporting like the same cause that we're all so excited about. So
love it. That
for us, we did a little music video bingo last night of all women artists, which was also so much fun. So it was just a good time. They're always just, a day of kind of like celebration, and like our staff also has just like an awesome time with it. So all in all, just like good days and good people for sure.
Love that. Any advice you want to give women, non-binary, aspiring to enter into the brewing craft beer world?
I think for me, the thing that I always like to highlight, and we talked a little bit about this earlier, is like backhouse and brewing is not the only thing in the brewing world, right? Like I think for anyone who's trying to get in, like I think just understand like your strengths and figure out how that can fit into this industry, right? Like there's bartenders, there's front of house, there's, general managers, there's sales, there's brewery finance. Like there are so many different aspects of this industry that isn't just a back of house position. So I think for me, and honestly, that's why we love MSU Denver so much too, partnering with them. So their program, the Brewing Ops program, does not just focus on brewing. So they actually are teaching students how to manage a brewery, like how to run a front of house, like the finances, the accounting. So like they focus on just more than just brewing, which we thought was so awesome, because I think for us, it's like the way we can get more people in is for them to understand like how much opportunity and like different positions actually exist within this industry. It doesn't have to be, behind the scenes in the back of house.
What is favorite style of foam to drink?
I feel like I'm just classic, like Hladinka pour, like that's just the classic pour you get over there. It's, mostly beer with, a good head on it. But we do love a good, we call them milk shots here. So we kind of introduce them as a way to, it was honestly like born out of just like a way to have people try the foam without just like committing to a beer. So like when we first opened, we're like, just pour them like a little shooter of the foam, like make them taste it, make them understand like this is what they're drinking. And then of course it just like turned into like now one of our like staff's favorite way to like drink anything is to share in a milk shot. So I'd say that's probably a close second.
Help us out with the.
Yeah, this was our little. We made these at the open because we're like people are gonna walk up to the bar and not know how to say this, but Tamave, that is one of our like core styles of beer. Svetle, Lejak is the next one. Vishetny, Hladinka, which is the pour style I talked about. Schnit, which is basically the half pour. And then Liko. So literally translating to milk.
Outside of Cohesion, of course, do you have a favorite Colorado craft brewer?
I mean, it's so hard to pick. I love Cerebral. I think they're doing awesome stuff. They're awesome people. I think a new one that actually was new to us we visited was Second Dawn out in Aurora. Okay. They're doing awesome stuff. I think they just turned 2. Okay. But yeah, we were super impressed. They were making really awesome beer. So it's fun to still have, new spots popping up that are, new favorites too.
Do you have a favorite Czech beer and food pairing?
Czech is definitely big on just all things meat. They don't really eat a lot of vegetables.
No.
So
Pancakes?
Potatoes, they like a good potato, they like a good meat dish. So for me, I think beef tartare, and I have like a very specific place in mind we go to in Prague. They like give you the toast with the garlic on the side. You like rub this like toasted bread to get like a garlic bread, and then the tartare on top is amazing. And then obviously just like classic Pilsner Urquell, I think with that is pretty awesome.
Fun question.
Yeah.
If you could be any beer in the world, what beer would you be and why?
I think honestly I'll go back to a Pilsner Urquell because to me I feel like it's distributed in probably most countries in the world, and I just would want to be able to go
wherever,
explore any country I wanted to. So not only is it a good beer, but it would take me some new places. All
right, last one.
Yeah.
What message do you hope with the Melada Brew and its associated causes convey to your customers and the broader community on International Women's?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, this is something that is important to us for sure. And I think we're doing it because it is important to us. And I think, we founded this brewery like wanting to be able to also like make a difference. So for us, it's just a cause that's I think near and dear to our hearts. And I think like for us, I'm just excited to see like the next generation of students that come through this program with a scholarship and kind of see what they do. Because I think like the more women we get into this space, I think and more diversity just in general, like it only can do it good. So I think I'm just excited to see what happens with it and just who's going to be able to come into this space just as a part of the program. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was so fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh my goodness. So much fun.
I just want to go back right now.
So I want to go stick my head in that tank and just waft.
Yes.
Waft.
The peaks in the fermentation tank, that was totally my favorite part. You got such a good shot of it. Oh my God, the smell was incredible. It looked like lemon
fruity.
meringue pie.
It was fantastic.
He had a name for it.
Yeah, there's some name that like, unless you're homebrewing, you can see it homebrewing, but only certain yeast really does it. And we were just lucky on the day that we were there to be able to capture that.
It was
but
pretty
you see it more often on open fermentation because you actually can see it. Otherwise, it's hidden in a metal tank, so you don't really get to see it. So totally cool that we happened to catch it. One of those days, if you're ever having doubts about what you're doing in life, and then just the perfection shows up on like what a beautiful thing. It was great. And thank you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the same thing. Thank you to Lisa and Eric and Brooke and the rest of the crew. We had such a fantastic time getting to know you. Yeah. And oh my gosh. And I want some more Melada.
Melada. Yeah. What a great beer release with a beautiful mission, and it's delicious. And like, just, I want to say necessarily learning about the pours, but being able to experience beer in such a different way and emphasizing the foam. And the foam is beautiful and there's flavor to it. And the foam shots, oh my God, I love doing foam shots there.
Yeah.
They're just so much fun. And it just, I don't know, it just oozes a different experience. And when you come in and the staff and the crew and everybody is so educated and they're so eager to teach and they're so patient while you attempt to say these crazy Czech words.
It was nice of her to go.
Oh yeah, we put her on the spot too.
She did it.
Like in
Like a
the middle,
champ.
I was like, hey, this would be really cool. And she was like, damn. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll do my best. And she crushed it. Oh, it's so cool.
Second favorite part is I loved, so it's cohesion, right? It's about unity. And I love how everything they're doing is just an emphasis of the definition of the name behind the brewery, right?
Yep.
They're community focused and they're trying to bring people in constantly. And then I love the scholarship program with Metropolitan State University. I think they live their
totally
mission. Embody. Yeah.
They live their mission.
Everything.
Like they don't just have a mission that they don't follow through. Like everything that they do, you can just so easily track back. And that's how you know when businesses are like genuine about what they're doing, because it's not hard for them to continually follow it. They're like, well, of course I'll do that. It only makes sense because that's what they just truly believe in. Yeah. And here's a Remy. We like to sing Jurassic Park and we go, Remy, baby, Remy, Remy, Remy. Hey, Rem.
She's part of that community.
Oh, man. Love him so much.
She's such a big dog.
So, grateful for that interview. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Lisa and Eric, for letting us come in, teaching us all the things. Can't wait to see you again soon. And it was just a true pleasure. So much fun.
Yeah, we hope we can also support the scholarship a little bit by getting this in front of some more people that maybe don't know about it, which would be super cool.
Super cool. And with the love of learning, we're going to send you off into the beer facts brought to you by me.
So I have to ask, did you check your facts?
Maybe. Anyways, you're going to watch me talking to a camera, saying facts that I hope are true now. Now I'm nervous about it.
These are going to be great, right?
They're going to be great. Yeah. Women's facts, Czech beer facts. Let's go. Learn some stuff. Tell us what you learned. Favorite thing. We usually hear about it in the comments anyways, which is great. We love it.
Yeah, and it's all of y'all's favorite part. So let's keep it going.
The Czech Republic actually has the highest beer consumption rate per capita in the world. And a big contributing factor is it's across both genders. It's men and women. In recent years, there's actually been a huge increase of women brewers in the Czech Republic, which is challenging tradition and creating new innovation and new flavors and new profiles in a space that has been very, very traditionally male-dominated and just has a lot of tradition. It's like some of the oldest beer in the world. In 2021, in the U.S., the demographic report showed 23% of breweries were women-owned, except for only 2% were fully women-owned. We gotta get that number up. The Czech Republic is the birthplace of Pilsners. In 1842, their soft water was a big contributing factor to the unique flavor and its popularity growing over time as one of the world's oldest consistently brewed styles of beer.
I feel so educated.
Thank you.
Fun.
I had so much fun while I learned, and that's my favorite part.
I haven't felt this way since elementary.
Oh, that is the best school.
Truly.
Did you guys do the we had 100 addition questions? You had to get them done as quick as you can.
Oh yeah, I always finish first.
That was my favorite.
Same.
Favorites because it's competitive and
Exactly.
it's a race. And then I got in we got through multiplying, and then I wasn't good at dividing, and then math sucked from there on out.
I totally agree. I was like, oh my God, I'm like the smartest person in the world.
Good at this.
Wait, there's more to it?
Ah, shit. I remember when I stopped really caring. I mean, I already didn't super care, but once they busted out exclamation marks in math, I was like, I'm out. No more for this kid.
Does that mean I'm evoking emotions while solving algebra?
Yep, it was wild. I
What
was
up,
like,
Ram?
I'm over
Oh,
it.
it's dinner time.
It probably is dinner time.
Yeah. All right. Oh, yep. So we gotta go.
That
That was fun. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for doing that.
Yeah, it was
Thank
good.
You. All right.
Gonna showcase the snow from the storm.
Hey.
Hey.
All right.
So we're gonna jump into our Brews and Bites, which was a very fun video, and Liz was the mastermind of the chef behind all of
thanks.
this. She did a fantastic job. As we already forewarned you, make note on, leave a comment of when you think our food coma kicks in, because it's we think it's pretty clear. And we ate way too much food and had a grand old time. And honestly, I would say one of our better discussing the notes, just of like what we were gathering out of it, and the highlights, and I don't want to say lowlights, but there was a couple in there, but in general, just like what we were really digging. And I think it was because it was in a flight form.
Yep.
And the food was like, we had multiple things to pair with. So we really got to just kind of like evaluate and tantalize our own palates and talk about what we're tasting. So
exactly. So it's no surprise we did a Czech pairing, Czech inspired pairing, and with a flight of Czech beer. So this is Brews and Bites. We hope you enjoy.
So we'll break it down. We'll start with, we have what is our take, a replication of the classic Czech potato pancake. We decided that is simply a tot.
it's a tot.
It's a classic tater tot, right? Yeah. You've got potatoes, salt and pepper, maybe a little garlic, depending on what you seasoned it with, and then of course the oils that you bake, fry, are already in there, right? And then of course we went with the fried cheese. Actually, so classic potato pancake. I'll probably actually just put these in the description because I can't really say it, but bramboraki, Czech potato, and then the fried cheese. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that, but so Czech fried cheese, and then to top off our entree here, we went with our version of what would be the Czech chicken schnitzel, and which is chicken strips, right? Now Chelsea's a vegetarian, so
Vicken.
Yeah,
Veggie chicken Vicken strips.
Yep. So plant-based chicken options. So you're really getting that same texture, same look. Yep. You know, a lot of the same smells going on. Is it handmade from scratch? No, but like you get the point, right? We're covering all the ingredients and the textures. It's pretty cool. Yeah. And then last but not least, we needed a sweet because Czechs love their sweets, and it's a whole meal, right? And I love sweets. It's the classic Czech honey cake. This one
Liz did make this from scratch.
I actually did make that one. That one I think I can say. The medovnik.
And the cheese. That was also made.
Yeah, we made the cheese. We made the honey cake.
And if you can't tell, I'm not going to be super helpful with my stuffy nose. So Liz is going to be taking the lead on like how this is actually pairing. I can kind of taste stuff.
And then just to throw a big ringer in it.
Yeah.
That is a dollop of Dean's French dip in the middle. Sour cream and onion.
Same.
Same thing. Same. So we're really excited. But we're going to start. These are what we're going with here. Classic, the Pilsner Urquell. And then we also wanted to do, obviously, a Colorado craft brewery. So with the Woods Boss, Czech Pilsner, Czech Dam Pilsner, I think is what it says up there. And then we've got the Czechvar, Czechvar, the classic Czech lager. Yep. And then from Crystal Springs, we're doing their Czech dark lager. Yep. So each are going to have a little bit different notes for each piece of our entree, and then of course the honey cake. These two will probably be pretty similar, but of course this is classic. We can't go without that. But all right, and then we'll treat it as a
we're doing a full flight.
Eventually.
Yeah, we're basically gonna do one, so you can get it pouring.
All right.
We're gonna pop one, put it in our glasses, go through all the different options, see how well they pair, whether they contrast or complement each other, and kind of just talk through the notes on it, and then we'll go to the next beer and do the same thing, getting through all the food.
That one.
Well, thank you. So nice of you.
Oh, every now and then.
Make sure it was still recording.
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
So classic Pilsner Urquell, right? It should be crisp, refreshing, light body, hot bitterness, maybe a little floral, maybe a little spice going on. Going with the tot. Mm-hmm. I'm going with the drinks. On Thursday I've been talking.
This isn't used to that.
Delicious. What do you think of that? It's hot.
So we did cheat a little bit earlier, and we pounded through our other batch of tots, so we downed it with another Pilsner. It's just so good.
That's great.
The hoppiness from the Pilsner really does complement the kind of oiliness of the potato and the savoriness of it.
Yep.
Oh, honey bread's so honey, it's so good.
Yeah, it takes like oh yeah. So again, the chicken strip is supposed to replicate a schnitzel. This isn't going to be as crispy. I mean, it can be as a schnitzel, or I think those are often a thicker crust than what this is giving.
Yep, I think so too.
But this is so great. It really brings out the flavor of the chicken. Kind of cuts through that sort of fattiness in the breading, I guess. That grease.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, again, end of the day, it's going to complement and cut that grease, that potato chicken cheese, man.
It just pops the cheese flavor so much.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's because like since we're saying like it's cutting through the grease, it's like making the cheese flavor be more predominant.
Sure, it gives it more of a center stage.
Yep.
So to speak.
I'm excited to see what you think with the bread.
I'm so excited about the chicken. I just love chicken. Honestly, it brings out more of the floral of the Pilsner.
Okay.
More of the hot bitterness for me.
Okay. I feel like we had almost the exact same facial expression. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It actually reminded me of like a cask beer,
Okay.
right? Because usually it's a little bit more honey as they put that in to help it carbonate in the little keg. So it made me think that it was more of like off like a beer engine or something.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool.
Sweeter.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just overall makes
Yeah,
sense.
but it's like just like the sweetness with like the hoppy to me always just makes the hops a bit too much.
Sure.
But then it kind of chills it out a little bit at the end, and
Yeah.
just made it really sweet. Like usually, I feel like with the Pilsner and the rest of these bites, the Pilsner was just like kind of refreshing and like cleansing out the palate, where like this ended with the sweet. Like it not over dominate, but it at the end of it, that was the predominant flavor in my mouth, was the sweet of the honey and not the beer.
Well said.
The Czech Dam Pilsner. Ready?
Almost maybe a little grassy. Interesting.
I mean, those are definitely the notes I'm not catching, but that's the...
Ah, yes. Ooh, such a different color.
Yep.
Right?
A lot lighter.
A lot lighter. Compared to the Urquell, the golden. I always think of like Rapunzel's hair is the Urquell.
You can see the color difference.
Yeah.
I would smell it. I'm going to pretend like I can smell it. Probably get a little bit. It smells like a lager.
It does.
From my,
Well, it is a lager.
my one nostril, I can get air in through.
You're like, oh, it smells great. Yeah, same.
Oh, see, I thought the sweetness of this like carried through. It didn't like cut through the grease quite as much for me.
Sorry, agree. It definitely, the tot lingers longer. So next time you're having chicken strips and fries, or you're ordering it for the kids, it's a classic Czech meal. Order them a Pilsner.
Yeah, I was like, that's where I thought you were going, to be like, put a Pilsner in that bottle for them and they'll sleep great.
I like the beans with the chicken.
Yeah. The beer and the chicken didn't do oodles. The chicken didn't do oodles for me. I feel like
I think I like the hops. These hops a little better. But then the noble Saz, what hops did they use? I feel like I want to
it
guess.
says it on the other side.
Does it?
I think so. Definitely different. I think a lot of times when I'm wanting a Pilsner, it's because I kind of want like a lighter IPA. So I want more of that bitter. So like I feel like this, when I'm craving a Pilsner, more would hit the spot. But if I was like, oh, I want like a hoppier lager, that would like nail that for me. It's a little bit sweeter, a little bit lighter, not so much like hop forward up front.
Sure.
So it just kind of depends the mood. If I'm like, I just want to slam a lager, but I want a little bit of flavor, that might be like my summer beer this next summer.
I mean, they crushed it.
Yeah,
It's
great.
Super Sauser and Holler Tower Tradition.
Obviously, would you have guessed those?
Well, I was gonna go with sauce. I feel like if you're doing a Pilsner, you have to do the sauce, but it's a Super Sauser.
Super sauce.
Whatever.
Super gal.
I haven't got that far down the hop train. I'd actually really brought out the flour for
It's
me.
really good with the bread.
Hello.
Yeah, it was really good. And it like, I still had like a big chunk of the bread, and all the bubbles like went into the bread and made it just go.
Look at that.
It was like pop rockets in my,
Still got
on my
legs.
tongue. It was great.
Pop rocks on the tongue.
Pop rocks, paprix, whole cone Saz hops, more variant malt, and natural soft water in our brewery in the Czech Republic.
Sounds like a Pilsner, not a lager. See, this looks more, like the Urquell.
Yeah,
Cheers.
it's a little flatter though.
Oh, totally different smell.
Yeah, it's like from what I can
Very
tell.
malty. That brings the grease right out. I do like licking a frying pan every now and then.
I was thinking it actually made, I don't want to say the tot sweeter, but like kind of sweeter. Less savory,
Yeah,
which I feel like sweet isn't quite the right word, but it definitely made it less savory.
yeah. Mine was, I feel like I got the opposite.
Ooh.
I thought it was more savory. Oh, I like the cheese with that.
I actually think it really mellows out the cheese flavors. Or those really like popped it because it cut through the grease. This to me just kind of like chills out the cheese flavor in general.
Yeah, because I think it's more complementary to the grease. The malt,
Yeah,
perhaps.
yeah, totally could be.
The Tasmanian honey. Thanks, Troy. It's gone now, by the way. It's such a different kind of honey, too. I feel like it's almost more clovey.
It is very clovey. See, that's
Which is, and the cinnamon, and I added about a teaspoon of cinnamon. That's what I asked for. I added a shit ton more flour because, excuse me, sorry.
it's the yeast in the beer.
Oh,
This is where I got a lot more of that lager yeast. Like, immediately, just like boom, lager yeast.
I can smell.
It's probably because it's sweeter than the malts in the beer, so it's like making the other. This sweet's overpowering that sweet, so it's making something else pop.
I get a lot of just carbonation too.
All right, we have one more.
One more.
We're just getting heavier.
I could literally fall face first in this Dean's and take a nap. I feel like
As a
both of
normal
us is just like, ugh.
so tired.
These guys put the beer and food pairing suggestion on
Oh,
the
they do.
can.
Yeah, there it is.
Crystal Springs.
All right. Rich, dark, malty, and complex with notes of toffee, raisin, roasted malts, and milk chocolate, and a bit of bitter in the finish.
This whole
But I love
can,
that
I
they
love
put
the
that-
can.
put that
They
on there.
put so much on one
Yeah,
can.
that's really, really cool. There's more places. Could, should. It's a great. It makes the experience better, right? You're just adding more to it.
The beer is such a bigger flavor compared to the tot,
Yep.
the malty, the roasty. It does definitely have that bitter. Actually, it brings that bitter finish out a bit more.
It's a really bitter finish on it.
I like that.
I would say more than a bit.
Yeah, fair. Just, I like it.
Not that it's bad, it's just more than a bit. I didn't really like it with the tot that much. Like you said, it just overpowered it. So it just was kind of there.
I'm so
you said the
excited for
chicken?
this. Yeah, the chicken's great. Roasty, malty, savory. Definitely kicks the bitter out of it, I thought.
No, it brings out the pepper.
Nice. She said she's not sensitive to spices.
It's got like a big old wave. The first drink it didn't. It definitely like. I was thinking I don't know if it was like the sweetness with it, but it was like almost like a gravy-esque. Just like how it like flowed with it. It kind of gave me like a gravy vibe. And then the second drink where I had more chicken and less beer, like just popped that pepper for me.
More chicken, less beer.
Yeah.
A dark Czech lager and a honey cake.
Uh-oh.
If you have not had those, and you're in any realm a fan of ginger snaps.
There's your jam.
Oh my god. I'm so excited right now. Like, I feel like it was like, oh, you have cinnamon and you have clove? Let me just slap you in the face right now. It's so good.
Yeah, definitely the best with that. I think this one with the cheese was my favorite. Yep.
The Woods
The
Boss.
Woods Boss with the cheese, this with the bread. You really like that with the chicken too, the dark with the chicken.
I like, well, I'm still on a dark beer kick. It's still winter.
I think if I were to, I would go this with the chicken, not with the tots. If I were to like pair and pair down the line of what my favorite ones of what they paired with.
I think I'm on that, pretty much on that same page. What was your overall favorite?
I think I'm gonna give it to the Woods Boss.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think if I was craving like the hoppier Pilsner, I would totally go for this one.
Yeah.
But like I think I will probably end up with this in my fridge for this one. So that's why it is.
I assumed they made it regularly if I was able to find it at the liquor store.
Oh, she caught that.
Yeah, this one I'm gonna go with you. The Urquell with the tater tots. I think they're just generally, it's just a great compliment to one another. Very balancing. Oh gosh, I actually think I like the lager with the cheese.
Okay. Oh no, I did it again. So good.
But I thought this one paired well with the tots, the cheese, the chicken, well. And then I'm just gonna go back to the dark lager. That's my overall favorite.
Okay.
I obviously have a bit of a sweet tooth. Some of my favorite flavors are like ginger snaps, and so I'm being incredibly biased right now. So the honey cake and the dark lager like sent it over the edge for me. But I don't think it like took away from
Minus the
this.
top.
Yeah, it did. It did take the. Yeah, so you gotta
The out of the top.
subtract. It did.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It didn't have that top punch.
Didn't have the top punch.
Yeah, fair.
It's like eating a French fry.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, right.
The battle of the top.
Wait,
versus
is it
the
fry or tot?
It's top. Always pick top. We'll always
Is
do
it just
top
because
over
they're
fry.
like cute and little and circular-y ones?
They have a way better texture. They have more flavor because they're like bulkier.
I'm gonna get a little controversial, and I'm gonna say the Woods Boss and the Crystal Springs, hands down, beat tradition in this meal for me. But when in Czech, I will crush some Urquell and some
But I mean,
Czechvar.
if you look at our top 10, that's coming up after this. Are either of these even on our top 10? You'll have to find out.
See that?
We're like,
And
we're sleepy.
I got full again just watching.
Yeah, I was
that.
like, I'm still full from that meal. I didn't eat dinner. I had a very light breakfast.
Yeah. I think I was actually just noshing on some cheese upstairs.
The fried cheese was in the fridge, and I was like, I do not dare. I cannot start you again. You're still so full.
So cool. I learned a lot about Czech fare, American fare,
How do you intertwine
classic
them? It's
pilsners
fun.
and lagers.
Yeah.
It's a cohesion.
Ooh, see what you
of
did there?
foods.
I liked that. I liked how you not only found traditional foods, but then in return kind of put a little bit of an American twist. I mean, we only have so much time in the day. That's part of it. But I mean, it's basically a tater tot. So why overcomplicate it? Let's keep it like achievable so you guys can be like, sweet, I can whip up some tater tots. Like
God.
that we don't have to worry about
So
being
much
like,
fun.
well, I don't have time to make a whole potato pancake, so I can't do this pairing. Do a tater tot. Have a good time. That's what it's all about. Having fun and trying it out. So
That's right.
great job. That was
Very good.
super, super fun.
Thank you so much. I'm going to reach over here.
Yeah.
This week is brought to you by the new book. Check it out. Some beer pairing basics. So if you like what you saw today on Brews and Bites, you'll probably like what you get in this basic beer pairing. It's simple, it's short, it's sweet, and it's got some really good tips in it. I think
Who wrote it,
You
Liz?
think so? Oh, by yours truly.
There we
Mwah.
go.
Anyway.
Don't be modest.
What else do we have?
What else do we have? Check. If you want to keep learning and learn, like it is very tangible. It's wrote with a lot of fun. You definitely are going to hear Liz's voice in it, but it's very digestible, which is funny because it's about food pairing and drinking, but it's a great way of learning how to kind of basic level get into it, start getting to the groove, start understanding where you can start doing these different types of pairings without having to necessarily have a recipe. And then growing from there, and it's fantastic, and it's not a huge read. And come check it out and get yours on Amazon. And Liz did a great job.
Thanks, Blue.
Pa!
Check it out. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. We're gonna come to the latter part of our Body by Beer podcast. We're excited about this one. It's gonna be the top 10 Untapped's top 10 Czech breweries.
Yeah.
We're highlighting their Czech brewery lists. So the idea is we had an idea being to the Czech Republic already that we knew about Czech beer. But what was super highlighting is everything that we didn't know. So Untapped has these really sweet filters where you can kind of like pick out certain styles of beers, right? That was the big thing. So there is this whole world that was open up. It was specifically for me of wild fermentation love. Wild fermentation love. Yeah. In the Czech Republic. I really want to go back like right now because yes, please, on wild fermentation. Well,
it's a great way for us, right? Like we did the whole Brews and Bites and like really focused on lagers and pilsners because those are very like common Czech style beers. But when you look at this list of the top breweries, they generally are going to be more focused on exactly what you're saying. Barrel aged, wild fermented. They're not necessarily just like the pilsner and lager. So that was kind of that. No. It also gives an opportunity to understand and explore a little bit better into the space of Czech breweries offer more than just those two beers. I mean, you summarized it up really nicely before. If you're not familiar with it, you can do a lot of different filtering, get some really great top 10s. And this is our top 10 on the top rated breweries out of the Czech Republic is what it is.
Yeah, sorry. I also wanted to say, so it's not just for the patron. Untapped is not just for the customer going on, drinking beers, rating them, right? It's a social media platform for the beer world, but it's also a good business tool for creating menus and reaching your target audience. I think that's a really good point to put across. All right. Sorry.
So we'll get started with number 10. And again, this is
good luck with these names.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to pronounce any of these. We should just like go like this and Sam can filter it in.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, it's like Rodini. I would just try and say that.
Rodini Puvar, right? We should probably figure out that word because that's like what I think it just means brewery.
Yeah.
Pivar?
Pivar?
This is a terrible top 10. We're not going to be able to pronounce any of these. I didn't even think about this part.
I meant to look them up and I forgot.
I think I did too. I was like, yeah, this will be great. Then I was like, I can't pronounce any of these. Anyways,
I can read them.
There's this brewery. This could be fun. You try to say it and we'll say there's this brewery. Liz gets to attempt to say them.
Let's just do this and he can filter them on top.
Oh, yeah,
okay, let's start again. Number 10.
This brewery.
Their mantra is diversity at all costs. They have all sorts of beers in the northern Czech Republic. Around 120 kinds of beers are brewed annually there. And they put their best into all of them.
Cool. At number 9
So,
is this other brewery name I can't pronounce.
Siberia? Seems right.
Siberia?
Beria.
Beria. Yeah.
Beer. It says beer.
And it does say beer in it.
Siberia.
It's a microbrewery that's been opened in 2014. They have fresh ingredients, quality technology, and excellent brewer are the main reasons why it's regularly ranked as one of the top 10 breweries in the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
They offer mostly top fermented beers. The brewery's flagship is a Lolly Hop IPA.
Such a good name.
It's a great name. And is producing a diverse range of beers from American IPAs to the Belgian Saison, German Weizenbach, to the dark English stouts and porter beers. Sorry, still dying.
They inspire from abroad.
That's fair. I was actually thinking about this as reading it, is like, when you come here, you have like our version of a Saison, and if you've actually had like traditional Saisons, like our Saisons, for the most part, are not very good here. There are some exceptions for sure, but in general, I'd say masses are not as good. What are their American IPAs like? Are they like, or are they like, oh shit, these are pretty good, you crushed it?
I hear they're pretty good, but I still need to travel and figure it out.
We must find on our own. Not number 8.
Cerny Patoka?
This brewery name.
They're mostly into contract brewing. A nomadic brewery, if you will. They were founded in 2016. So they carefully select craft breweries. It gives them an opportunity to experiment and provides the necessary freedom and independence that they seek.
So are they just like are they like brewing and then like putting their kegs in at other breweries?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Yeah. I have heard about that model more in like other states outside of Colorado. It must be a licensing thing that it's allowed.
Like a glorified home brewer.
There you go.
This one you can pronounce.
Number 7, the Barn Beer Company.
It's a nano brewery.
Ooh. It's a new project created by brewer Hosa. I don't know.
I would just say it's a new project created by a brewer.
By a brewer with this name. Under this brand, they want to produce trendy style beers and experiment a little bit. Ask why the name brand is Barn, and the answer is simple. The beers are brewed in a reconstructed old barn.
Which I thought was super cool.
There you go. With the new technology. But it seems like they're pretty well crushing it and
having a good time.
Having a good time.
Number 6, Fenetra, another nano brewery in the Czech Republic. Their brews are a blend of ancient traditions and modern innovation. Set in a stunning area of the Czech Republic, beautiful countrysides, lots of castles. Yeah. Their specialty is wooden barrel-aged beers maturing from months to years, and yum.
And yum.
Obviously, there's a lot of patience in that process. Yep. They also are humble in admitting humility, in which sometimes the beers don't yield as they wish they would. But they're all about putting in that patience. Cool. So they also do imperial stouts, barley wines, and bourbon whiskey barrels. So they have a really good rating, so can't wait.
Looks like lots of wild fermented beers as well.
Also wild fermented, sorry.
That would probably be one of my top ones to go check out.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
All right, it's number 5. This brewery.
No Zib Special Brews.
There you go. It's a brewing project exploring the diversity of modern craft beer with a passion for hop-forward IPAs and fruity sours. They're constantly seeking new trends, enhancements, and trying to serve the freshest beer and having a good time, making it good. That kind of seems to be like their mantra that I took from it, is they do not accept less than really, really good.
Almost perfect.
Yeah.
Number 4, JBM Brew Lab. Experimental brewery. They're focusing on new styles and alternative fermentation. So again, getting into that alternative wild fermentation. They didn't have a lot to say about themselves, which is okay, but they rate really, really well.
Number 4 for the whole country.
Exactly.
Number 3, Wild Creatures.
I can pronounce that.
I can say that one
all day long.
We love the spirit of this one. Mm-hmm. Seems like they have, I mean, as we've said, they have a good time. They boast a strong message in regard to wild fermentations, which is, as we've talked before, one of our favorite styles of beer.
Yep.
Joking again. They do a lot of fruit and beer and disillusioned by the by like the different type of Czechs offering. A Belgian trip sparked the ideas where they embrace wild fermentation long cherished in Belgium, driven by the spirit of adventure. Then they turned to natural like souring bright yeast and traditional lambic beers. And because of this, they're rocking out some great fruity beers and celebrating how wild their beers can get and trying to keep them really true to form.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's really cool.
Can't wait to go back. I missed a lot of that when we were over there. Not that we missed it. It was just we had to focus on history and tradition, right? Yeah. So number 2 is Metaphor.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to read that. Yeah. Another artisanal beer project focused on slowly aged beers. In wood, influenced by time and the biodiversity of the surrounding, so wild yeast fermentation and their own mixed culture. So they're reflecting a place and time with their beers. That's their objective, is to really get you into that ambiance of creation and specific seasons and the people involved.
Yeah.
In the brewing process.
So what I think happened when I found this list is I looked at the top 3, 4, and I was like,
you could read them.
And I could read them, and I was like, cool, top 10 right there. Let's go.
That's okay. I think it'll work out just fine.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that we couldn't read most of them. But for number 1, Mini Worlds.
Mini Worlds.
So you can read that one too. Nestled near Prague. It rejuvenates 150-year-old Czech lager cellars for barrel aging beers for 2 years. They're embracing traditional and global brewing techniques. Established in 2018, known for capturing unique local microfloras worldwide, the brewery commits to organic ingredients and environmental respect.
Love it.
Cool.
Love it. Can't wait
Super
to go
fun.
back.
So yeah, we got a whole list. If you're ever traveling over in Czech, take this list with you and let us know how it goes. If you've been to any of them, also let us know, because we have not. We weren't on brewery
Sounds like
tours.
we're gonna go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we were. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just we were doing history and we checked out a bunch of other beers. We did Oktoberfest right before there.
Yeah.
So I think we were just a little beered out in general.
Yeah. There was the absinthe bar. And
Yeah. It's not that we didn't. Remy, don't give away our brick wall. Remy, how did you transport through that rock hard brick wall behind us?
She has superpowers.
Oh my
She's a
goodness.
super dog.
Super dog.
Oh my God. What an incredible episode.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Ready to wrap it up?
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching again and just being here with us on this journey.
Yeah.
Hopefully we always keep things genuine and understandable, and we appreciate, kind of being in different places with where we are in our everyday lives, and you guys being here with us and learning about what we think is interesting for the 2 weeks and being really vulnerable and just laying our humor out in these new videos.
It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to have that much fun and throw it out to the world. And you guys have all been very supportive, and we appreciate it. So
we thank you so much.
Go on with your merry ways and drink your merry beers. And if you go to the Czech Republic, visit these 10 places.
Eat the
Toodles.
foods, drink the beer. Thank you. Till next time.
Till next time.